So we're here for the festival documentary. You know, we're doing every year a festival documentary with some live shots, some interviews, some statements, and of course a lot of pictures. And this is the one from last year.
Oh, cool.
You haven't participated last year,
no,
but
what, the year before?
The year
2005.
Before, yeah, I remember a great show. And
I have a calendar here somewhere.
Yeah, so it's good to have you back in Bali with some other guys this year. But you know, every time is.
Yeah, well, you know, it's really special this time to do it with the guys in, you know, what do we call it today? Heaven and Hell, which is really called Black Sabbath because that's what everybody calls us anyway. That's why it wasn't a problem for me for it to be called Heaven and Hell because I know everyone's knows what it really is. But it's always been special to play with Dio, and this is even probably a little bit more special because the band is special, because of all the years that we've been together, and haven't been together, and because the people really, really want to see this lineup. Those who have never seen it before, those who have seen it before and want to see it again, and especially the really young kids who get a chance to see what a real explosion sounds like, to see, you know, what a really great band can do after all these years. Because it's not one of those bands that got together because it could, and because it's out there because it needs the money, because we don't need that, thank God for that, but because the band wants to play for people, and it's 10 times better band than it ever was before, ever. It's just wonderful. So for all those reasons, I'm glad to be in Bali and being here.
I knew I've seen you in Offenbach on last Sunday. It was an amazing show. It was great.
That was a great show. It really was. But every show for us has been the same. There has not been one bad show that we've done. From the first show, which was in Vancouver, in Canada, to Radio City Music Hall, which is the one that's going to be the DVD, and obviously the audio part of it as well. I don't know if you've seen any of that because they've given 2 songs, I and Sign of the Southern Cross, and they're brilliant. Now, I never watch videos. If I'm in them, I never watch them.
What can people expect from your DVD?
They're just going to get a great show that's really like 2 hours long, and with all the songs that I wish we could have played here, but time restrictions are difficult in festivals. When you have a lot of acts on the bill, you just can't do it all. So, no, it probably won't be any less than maybe 10 minutes less than what we did before. But we made the songs longer instead of doing the other ones that we did. But it was a really excellent show that night in Radio City Music Hall. Very difficult because there's a union. I don't know if you call unions here. I guess you do.
Yeah.
You know, the people who tell you, you can't do that anymore, we're going to stop. Well, that's what they did. We did perhaps 1/2 of a song for sound check, and they came in and said, okay, that's it. No more. I said, but we're doing a DVD today. Don't care, that's it, done. But that's it, you're done. We had to stop. Done. We have to stop, but the cameras had to stop. So all the checking the angles, as you certainly understand, didn't happen. So that show was, I thought, much more aggressive than a lot of the other ones that we've done, just because we were angry, because we didn't have the chance to do it. And because we didn't have the chance to do it, we had to really go out and work hard for it. So it's just a brilliant, brilliant show. But there hasn't been a bad one. As I say, from Canada to Radio City Music Hall, to all the shows we did as a full tour in America, we're doing another tour in America, to all the shows we've done here so far. And I think you can tell that by when you play festivals, you have so many bands that grew up with what you did. You know, bands that now are good themselves, obviously, they're doing well, and bands that are just trying to start and have grown up with the music that you made, and to see them when we play, it's just, they're like, this is Black Sabbath with Dio, because it's not with Ozzy, obviously. You know, that was another great part of that band. But this is what a lot of these younger people grew up with, not with Ozzy, but this era. And to see them, and to see people like the guys in Maiden, you know, when we play some shows with them, when they're on the side of the stage going, it's just so great. And their road crew, who love us to death anyway, oh, please play Sign of the Southern Cross. Yeah. So I even changed the song for them when we did the festival, is it Field of Rock? Field of Rock. We were going to do the song Falling Off the Edge of the World and not going to do Sign of the Southern Cross. And a couple of the crew guys, I know all their crew really well, they're all good friends of mine. I like crew guys better than I like band guys anyway, because they work harder and they're just really real people and they don't give you bullshit. They just tell you whether they like you or don't like you, and if they're your friend forever. So they came to me and said, "Are you doing Sign of the Southern Cross?" And I said, I'm we're not doing it tonight. Their faces fell. Oh no. And most of them being British said, well, you're doing the British tour, so we're going to come to the shows so we can hear Sign of the Southern Cross. So I went, they left, I went back to Tony and Geezer and Billy and said, I think we should do Sign of the Southern Cross tonight instead of falling off the edge of the world. And we did, and they just absolutely loved it. So that shows us how special this band is to a lot of people. And I'm not saying we deserve pats on the back for it, but you can see that, and it makes you feel good that what we did then was important to them, and what we do now is not only important to them, but it's good.
You've been in the business for so long. You started with your solo bands.
I invented this business.
Absolutely.
Almost.
You, Elf, Rainbow, Black Sabbath, Dio. What, the business has changed, the world has changed, of course, How do you keep motivating yourself after all these years?
Well,
you're still, I saw you also, I think last year on the solo tour,
mm-hmm.
and I couldn't tell a difference to 1984. I couldn't tell a difference.
Shouldn't be a difference.
It's a miracle.
It should be better.
Okay, yeah.
It should be better, and I think it usually has been better. A lot of it depends on the musicians that you play with.
Uh-huh.
In the case of the Dio band, now I've got people that I play with who are just, not only for me musically, are just wonderful to play with, but they're just so, my friends and my family.
Mm.
We are family. And road crew. Most of the road crew here are my road crew, because they are the best. And I wouldn't go anywhere without my monitor man. I didn't want to go anywhere without my sound man or our lighting designer. We're all here. Our stage manager, our production manager. All the people who are important to me are the people that I wouldn't go any place without. I honestly would not have done this tour had some of those people not done this with me. So that band and the people who work for it, the Dio band, are just so incredibly important to me. And that's not the answer to the question you have. The answer to the question is that there's an audience out there. And there's an audience that, from the beginning of my career, told me that I was good. And I needed, every time I performed, to deserve what they said about me. So all these years later, I insist upon being as good as I can be. I'm never perfect. I try to be if I can. I'm never going to be that. But I do it for them, because they are as important as the people in the band. Mm-hmm. They're here for me always. Anytime we play this festival in Belgium, they're always there for me. We're here now. A lot of them are there for me as well as the whole band. And so without them, I never could be this good. But I insist upon being good for them. See, I do this to an audience. I take an audience and I cut them in half. 50% of the audience are people who've seen me before and who've told the other 50 people, 50%, you've got to see him. He's great. So when they come, I think to myself, well, if I'm not great, then those people who told them that I'm great, their friends are going to go, he's. So I got to be great for them, and then that makes me great for the other half, who go, you were right, he was great. So I look at the audience as the most important thing that there is for me. My joy is to perform live. Live performance to me is the only thing that really matters. I don't like to record at all. I find it
necessary,
boring. Yeah, it is. I find doing videos the most boring thing on the face of the earth to me. All you do is wait and wait and wait until they go, okay, time to do it. Wait, but it's over? Yeah, it's over now. But I just waited for a whole day. Well, that's the way it goes. So the reason I try to do this at this level is because of the audience who's out there. I don't ever want to let them down. I want them to go away saying, it was great.
Do you look in the future? What is there? There's still the Dio band, mm-hmm. and there's some more stuff to do with Black Sabbath.
Well, that could be. We went into this with our eyes open this time. Remember, twice before we had said goodbye to each other, and the first time after 11 years we got back together again, and the next time after 15 years, this time we got back together again. And I didn't want what happened the first and the second time to happen again. Mm-hmm. I wanted there to be an end to it. So that our end was going to be the end of December. But now it's going to go a little bit longer because there are other shows. So probably won't finish until February. But it has to end, or else the same thing will happen again. Mm-hmm. Because we need to get to a point where we want to do this again.
Okay.
Not that we have to do this again. In all those times, it was almost as though, well, we've done a tour, we've done an album, we've done all these tours for that album. Well, no, we've got to do another album and we have to tour again. This time we don't have to. This time I can do what I have to do. I have commitments myself. Okay. I have commitments for myself for the Dio band. After all, Sabbath are going to be together 40 years next year, so they'll probably do some shows with Ozzy, and Tony probably has a choice of solo career as well. Geezer has the same choice. So we'll wait now until all of those commitments are made. Once they're made, now it's easy to call each other, because the other two times, when you leave that way, when you leave kind of like, or when you leave that way, it makes it almost impossible to talk again. It really does, until something like this happens. And this is the only band I've ever would have gotten back together with, because I like them so much.
Not Rainbow.
No, never.
So you told about you've been involved in a lot of big bands of the rock history, but there was one special project you did in '86, which maybe should be done again. You know, a lot of musicians try to be involved now in environmental situation. There's Live Earth, there's been Live Aid. Isn't there time for Here in Aid too?
Well, I thought that there was for quite a while, and I'm constantly asked to do it. You know, the problem has been that there hasn't been time to do it. There was time then to do it, and there was a project to do it with. But I have a project now with Children of the Night, which is the charity that I support for runaway kids, runaway children who come to Los Angeles, actually. And we've started on something that's going to be a project for that. And I talk to people all the time who want to do it. You know, I want Doro to do it. And I love Doro. She's like my dear friend, and she's one of the great rock and roll people on earth. And so I've talked to people who want to do it. And Klaus, you know, Klaus Meine, of course, he wanted to do it. And everybody else. Jeff Tate, again, you know, I love Jeff. I just did one for him. He owes me again. I did the Queensryche 2 thing. He Mind Crimes 2, and so it's his turn now. Jack Black, I want Jack to do it because I was in Jack's film. He'll do anything anyways. So when there's time to do it, I certainly will. Environmental issues are very important. Of course they are. But there are other people doing that. There's Bono, there's Sting. There are other people who have taken that and done it. To me, you know, if it's going to be the end of the world, and, you know, I'd rather that little kids go out happy than worry about the glacier melting, because it's probably going to happen anyway. But I'd rather, you know, little children are not harmed, or the pedophiles are taken care of, you know, and shot. Because for me, that's the only answer. You are what? A pedophile. Oh, really? Next, pedophile. I rob banks. Oh, okay, you're okay. But to me, harming anyone innocent like that, children and animals, they only ask of you joy, and they don't know. They don't know anything. Their minds have not yet been taught to be anything but innocent. And so I find it the most horrible thing on the face of the earth. So that's what I dedicate myself to. Children. Again, we've got Sting, we've got Bono, we got the other people. They can deal with that. I'll deal with what I deal with. So yes, the answer to your question, hopefully we'll be doing that. Just as soon as there's time, I will definitely do it. And musicians are great people. They will always help in any cause that they're asked to do. And I'm lucky that, you know, I've gotten enough of a reputation that people will come and do it for me if I ask. So yes.